Greetings, 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 greetings. Taking my walk later in the afternoon. Nice, warm, sunshine, but cool breeze. And I appreciate the cool breeze very much. I've been looking at something, probably about over the last couple of hours. Several events, actually, several things. But the last one that I looked at was I decided to look at flights going into and out of West Africa. And the first flight that I took into and out of West Africa in 2010, 2009. Not bad. I paid about $600 for a ticket. Today I was looking at flights. And the same route that I took no, it's not the same route. My first trip was on Royal Air Morocco, and it was about 500. It's less than 6. But subsequent flights was a mix of airlines. The last one was a little over 600 on a U.S. airline, and then out of Brussels Airlines. Today when I looked at the flights, the travel time went from 23 hours to 47, between 42 and 47 hours. And the least expensive ticket I saw, was $4,700 and something dollars. The most expensive I saw was $7,000. And this is not a first class ticket. Before I could have bought a first class ticket for $2,000. A coach ticket, $7,000. Part of that is because of what's going on today. But the part that I will focus on is the responsibility of African nations, all right, to provide transportation to people, their own citizens, and then the citizens of other countries entering Africa. The utter neglect and wickedness is beyond evil. Even the so-called devil have several ways for you to get to hell. But all across Africa, nations with substantial resources and wealth, African states that have resources and wealth that in some cases cannot be measured. Estimates are given instead of true value. But they cannot create, they cannot sit down and even sit down together and create a transportation system that will benefit them and their fellow African states. Just imagine now that you are not in the government in Africa where you can and they don't fly coach, as it's called. The first class ticket that they're going to buy, it's inevitable that they're going to want to show off to their fellow African leaders that they can do it. So they're going to spend maybe $12,000 or so dollars for a ticket. Not knowing, if you don't know the mental state of Africans and African leaders, you see this occurring, or being done, I shouldn't say occurring, it's not accidental. And you wonder, why is it that it doesn't happen? Why is it that it's not being, they get together build something that they know is going to benefit their people. I heard so many speeches that, and in the beginning, when, say back in 2000, there are African leaders talking about their plan. And said, finally, Africa is going to rise up. But guess what? The same talk about the same events, the same actions, they're using different words, but they're talking about the same thing. Now I don't speak enthusiastically about Africa or the leaders doing anything that's going to benefit Africa. I see their actions. I hear their words. But it's all waste. You can imagine if 1,000,000 people's flying out of Africa. In the next month. How much money is the European airlines making out of Africa? And these people are content with the way it's going. Remember having a conversation with a couple of people in Ghana. They had plans to start an airline. They were in the process of purchasing Embraer jets, and they were going to fly all over West Africa out of Accra. The government of the then president, who is now again president, him and the president that's last president, all of these leaders got together and put an end to an idea that would have been excellent if put into practice, because they wanted a share of the money. Then they say, let's buy into it. Let me buy, you issue 100 shares and I'll buy one share and my friend here will buy another share, and we'll invest in this, the progress of Ghana. They say, oh, you got money to buy airplanes. Unless you give us this much money, we're not going to give you a certificate. We're not going to give you the right to import these airplanes from Brazil, Embraer, which is a very good airplane. Very good airplane. I've flown it. Reliability is good. Even though Boeing tried to put them out of business, they still survived. That's the way, the mindset, destructive, wicked, of Africans. See, the mindset is that before the European came to Africa, or we Africans, children of slaves, like to think that the colonialists and the African leaders like to preach about the colonialists destroying their states, their villages and all that. But before the British and the French and the Germans and the Belgians came, the same thing that the colonialists were doing to the Africans was doing that to other Africans long before. And today we're still doing it. You can look at Cameroon, look at Nigeria, South Africa. South Africa, underneath the apartheid, the black people were united in a fight, a struggle, united now. Now, the same black people are destroying other black people for the colonialists from Europe, colonialists from India, the colonialists from the Arab states, UAE and Saudi. And they're destroying it for God's chosen people, killing each other. Mm. You some of you are going to hate me for doing this, but saying what I'm saying. But if it's not fact, you show me where it's not fact. I can show you where it's fact. AES just decided they're going to take back their land, and guess what? The same wicked Africans you got from Ghana. The leader went to Africa, went to Washington, and says, hey, these people in AES are terrorists. They're going to come. We need help to fight them in Ghana. You got the Nigerians. They were ready to take up arms against AES. Togo, just the other day, cut off the source of revenue coming into Niger, blocking the oil from flow, trying to starve people for their masters.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. You see, I have the proof. Cameroon, look at that. And shoot, Uganda. Not one sound from any of the other African leaders. And then there's Sudan, Congo. African leaders are taking part in the destruction. African leaders from other states on behalf of Israel and Great Britain, France, and Germany. Bring your evidence or shut up. Today, I'm watching the world fall apart. And people might think it is getting bad. That $7,000 I mentioned to you for a ticket, that is not even close to what's about to happen. What's supposed to be done. And tomorrow when you wake up, it may not happen tomorrow. But week 4, week 4 of this conflict in Iran. I hope you're prepared. Have a great day wherever you are. Knowledge is going to be the sword you need. A piece of land is going to be precious. If you don't know yet, teach yourself how to grow food. Peace.